Heartopia is a free-to-play life sim made for PC and mobile with gacha mechanics, social features, and a hobby system. I was super excited for this one having played the demo, and I even posted immediately on the release date after the game went live. However, in my opinion, the demo showcased the best the game had to offer, not gating the hobbies because of limited time, and it didn't have any of the gacha or monetization elements built into it yet. It's a free-to-play game, so there's no harm in trying it out for yourself, but here are some of my honest thoughts and things you might want to know. One of the first things that's immediately clear is that while the game is available on both PC and Android and iPhone, it feels clearly built with a phone touchscreen in mind, if not only with a touchscreen in mind. This means a majority of the controls, tutorials, and on-screen guides will refer to swiping, tapping, and pinching, which don't correspond directly to mouse controls. The game is simple enough that you can figure out the controls pretty easily, but this becomes frustrating when trying to do more advanced things like decorating, which I'll talk about later. This also comes into play when discussing graphics. Some of the visuals are very crisp and clean, especially if they are very close to the character in the camera. The farther out you look, which sometimes doesn't have to be too far, assets become pretty blurry or disappear entirely, popping in and out. Obviously, this helps the graphical strain when playing on a mobile device, but it still happens on desktop even with all the settings turned to ultra. I think this can be easily improved by adding additional settings or per device settings, especially when considering modern computers. And this doesn't explain some of the textures that, no matter how close you are, look blurry even at close range, and some of them are just flat images. Even some of the time limits for crops reminded me of Farmville back in the day, which is another free-to-play game, and it reminded me of when you plant something and then you wait for your phone to go off and tell you your crops are ready so you log back in. Something that, again, works well for a phone game, but maybe not as much on PC because you might just end up logging off for the day entirely. Let's talk about building and customization. I can't fully explain how frustrating building was for me on PC. Since the mouse controls move both the camera and the reticle at the same time when trying to place and align objects, you have to be pretty precise. If there's an easier way to do this, please let me know because I definitely struggled here. I tried the advanced build mode and I honestly had even more problems with that. The controls are clearly designed around mobile gestures like zooming and pinching, and I struggled the entire time. It never felt intuitive to me. And I promise you this is not exaggerated, I felt genuinely dumb trying to figure it out, and the tutorial was no help because again, it's designed for phone. Also, a minor thing that could be easily fixed is that pressing the escape key takes you out of decorating mode entirely instead of just backing you out one screen back to the options that you were already in. So because of this, I accidentally exited build mode repeatedly and had to reload back in far too many times. When I finally discovered continuous selection so I didn't have to paint tiles one by one, it changed the camera controls and started throwing out constant errors about not being able to paint repeatedly. But because I am nothing if not persistent, I then ended up trying to customize the exterior. And that was a mistake. I attempted to undo some progress, but it told me I couldn't go back anymore, even though I hadn't gone back a single step yet. 25 minutes later, I finally settled on something half decent and decided to move on. There are of course positives. The hobby system is a great concept, character customization in terms of outfits and the amount of objects that seem available is nice, and it's a cute and colorful game. Traversing the world is easy and thankfully seamless when going from walking to your bike, which helps because there isn't a whole lot happening visually between the areas. You also get a free motorcycle early on, which makes getting around easier. The only people roaming around are the few NPCs who own shops and other players if you're lucky enough to see one. I would love to see additional NPCs, not just shopkeepers or hobby masters, to make the game feel more alive. I played for a few hours directly at launch, and I was kind of surprised how quickly I ran out of memos, which are Heartopia's version of quests. This is something I understand if you've been playing a while and have everything unlocked, but I was kind of disappointed that it seemed to gate you so fast. But again, I think this is the free-to-play aspect that wants to encourage you to come back every day and keep playing. Also, there is a section about stories on the map, but when you click on it, nothing really comes up, so I'm curious if that's going to be something added in the future. Collecting seems to be the main gameplay driver, but early on there isn't much variety. For example, in the fishing hobby, there are only a few different fish to catch at first, and the game kind of punishes you by only giving you around 3 to 5 XP for duplicate fish when you need around 120 or so just to level up to unlock more fish. And then it's 500 XP for the next level after that, leading to the game feeling just a bit repetitive and grindy. Also, quick tip with fishing, apparently bait can only be used in certain locations, and if you bait an area that already has a fish, sometimes it won't spawn a new one, so you just waste the bait. Things like crops and fish also have quality ratings, with higher starred things selling for more, and things like upgrading your skills and using fertilizer has a chance to up these ratings. Tools also have durability, so it's a good idea to always carry around repair kits, because if you're exploring far away, let me tell you, it's terrible to not be able to use any of your tools. Or if you see a rare bird and then you realize you actually can't take a picture of it because your camera's broken. In terms of monetization, the gacha mechanics are straightforward, but there are more currencies and systems than I expected. I really wish you could just buy what you wanted instead of having to roll for it, because that feels strange in a game like this where you're not rolling for characters or weapons specifically. I don't want to complain too much about monetization since the game is playable without spending money, but I am concerned that new furniture or even furniture blueprints could be locked behind paywalls. There are also memberships, which were kind of confusing. It seems like a daily purchase, but in most gacha games, memberships are a one-time monthly fee and then they provide you daily rewards. You can also spend real currency on resources that are easily attainable in-game, which feels a bit unnecessary. And here we have the conversion of real money to the premium currency, where of course you can get more free the more you buy. Overall, I actually do think Heartopia is fun. It's just that I would be more likely to recommend it as a free-to-play phone game. On desktop, I think there are better options available. Games like Palia or even Infinity Nikki, despite its heavy monetization, at least offer a storyline, side quests, and a substantial amount of content. There's also Petite Planet coming up, but I can't comment too much on that yet since I've only played the beta, which also didn't include gacha mechanics yet. If you're open to paid games, I personally think Disney Dreamlight Valley and Hello Kitty Island Adventure are stronger, more polished experiences. Heartopia feels like a game you could put a lot of time into, but right now, especially on PC, it's not really hitting for me. If you've been playing, especially on desktop, I'd be interested to see how your experience compares, and always, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, follow for more, I appreciate it so much.